أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته everyone. My name is Muhammad Hanan and I'm from National Student at Rehan School, Islamabad, Barakah campus. So viewers, today I'm going to talk with Maya on the simple topic of food. So Maya, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Alright Maya.
I'm ready for your questions on.
Okay, that's
Ready
great.
whenever you are.
So my first question from you,
Standing by.
the question is, what is the basic definition of food?
At its simplest, food is any substance consumed to provide nutritional support for an organism. It's essentially the fuel that keeps us moving, growing, and repairing ourselves.
All right, Maya. Thank you. My next question is, why is food essential for human survival?
It's essentially about energy. Without food, our organs wouldn't have the fuel to function, our brains wouldn't be able to think, and our immune systems would collapse. It's the raw material our bodies use to build and maintain every single cell.
All right, Maya. Thank you. My next question is, how did early humans discover different types of foods?
There's a lot of trial and error. Early humans probably started by observing animals to see what they ate and tried those things themselves. Over time, they learned which plants were nourishing and which ones were toxic, likely passing that knowledge down through generations.
All right, Maya. My next question is, how has food evolved throughout human history?
It went from pure survival to a total art form. We started as hunter gatherers, then shifted to farming, which let us build actual cities. From there, we moved into global trade, bringing spices and ingredients across oceans, and eventually into the industrial age with processed foods. Now, we're balancing that convenience with a return to wanting real, sustainable ingredients.
All right, Maya. Thank you. My next question is, why is food considered a cultural symbol?
Because it's more than just calories. Food is how we tell our story. It carries the traditions of our ancestors, reflects the geography of where we come from, and is almost always the center of our most important celebrations. Sharing a meal is one of the oldest ways humans bond, so the food itself becomes a symbol of identity and belonging.
All right, Maya. Thank you. My next question is, how do different cultures define traditional food?
It usually comes down to the ingredients that were naturally available in their region and the methods passed down through generations. For some, it's a specific recipe that hasn't changed in centuries. For others, it's about a specific way of preparing something, like fermenting or smoking, that reflects their history and environment.
All right, Maya. My next question is, what role does food play in family traditions?
It's the glue that holds everything together. It's often the one thing that gets everyone in the same room. Whether it's a secret family recipe passed down for decades or a specific meal for a holiday, food creates a shared memory and a sense of continuity across generations.
All right, Maya. Thank you. My next question is, how does food reflect a nation's identity?
It's like a culinary fingerprint. It reflects the local climate, the available resources, and the history of who they've traded or fought with. When you think of a nation, certain flavors or dishes usually jump to mind immediately because those foods have become shorthand for that country's values and way of life.
All right, Maya. My next question is, why do people connect emotions with food?
It's all about the brain's wiring. Our senses, especially taste and smell, are directly linked to the parts of the brain that process emotion and memory. That's why a specific scent or flavor can suddenly transport you back to a childhood memory or make you feel safe and comforted.
All,
We also use food to celebrate, soothe, or even reward ourselves, which ties those tastes to our feelings.
all right, Maya. Thank you. My next question is, how has globalization changed eating habits?
It's turned the world into a giant potluck. We can eat sushi in Islamabad or tacos in New York without ever leaving our cities. Well, it's great for variety. It's also pushed a few massive corporate food chains into every corner of the globe, which sometimes pushes out the local traditional spots.
All right, Maya. My next question is: what are the oldest known foods in history?
It's hard to pinpoint one single first food, but grains and wild tubers are way up there. We've got evidence of wild cereals being used tens of thousands of years ago, and things like honey and nuts have been staples since the beginning. Some archaeologists have even found residues of early bread, like paste, dating back over 10,000 years.
All right, Maya. Thank you. My next
I'm still
question
here.
is: how did agriculture change human civilization?
It was a total game changer. It basically stopped us from having to wander for our food and let us settle down in one place. That stability led to the creation of permanent homes, the growth of cities, and eventually the development of specialized jobs like priests, artists, and engineers, because not everyone had to spend every waking hour searching for a meal. It's essentially how we went from small nomadic bands to actual organized societies.
All right, Maya. Thank you. My next question is: why is food important in celebrations and festivals?
It's a way of marking the moment. Special foods act as a signal that today isn't just any other day. They create a sensory anchor for the memory. So whenever you smell or taste those specific dishes again, you're immediately transported back to that celebration. Plus, the act of preparing and sharing a feast is a way of showing love.
All right, ma'am. My next question is: why is food important in celebrations and festivals?
I think you might be asking why I'm right here. What's the next question?
My next question is:
I'm ready.
how do religions influence food choices?
Religions often set the boundaries for what's considered pure or forbidden. It can be about specific dietary laws, like avoiding certain meats, or can be about fasting periods that teach discipline and spiritual reflection. In many cases, these rules aren't just about health, but Google Analytics? That's a bit of a pivot. What's on your mind with that?
All right, Maya. Thank you. My next question is: what role does food play in social gatherings?
Hmm. It's the ultimate social lubricant. It breaks the ice and gives people a common point of focus. Whether it's a casual snack or a full dinner party, food creates a shared experience that makes conversation flow more easily and makes people feel welcome.
All right, Maya. Thank you. My next question is: how does climate affect the foods people eat?
Say biggest fact. It's the biggest factor in what's actually available to grow. Cold climates usually lead to foods that are calorie dense and preserved, like cured meats or root vegetables, because we have to survive the winter. In tropical areas, you get an explosion of like fresh fruits and seafood because the growing season never really stops. Essentially, the land decides the menu.
All right, Maya. My next question is: why are spices important in world cuisines?
They're the flavor profile of history. Spices didn't just make food taste better, they drove the global economy. People were so obsessed with things like black pepper and cinnamon that they literally sailed across the world to find where they came from, which triggered the entire age of discovery. Now, they're how different cultures express their unique identity on a plate.
All right, Maya. Thank you. My next question is: how has street food become globally popular?
I'm guessing you mean street food? It's
Yeah.
all about that immediate, authentic taste. It's usually the most honest version of a city's food culture, and it's accessible to everyone, regardless of their budget. Plus, there's something about eating in the middle of a busy street that makes the whole experience feel more like an adventure.
All right, Maya. Thank you. My next question is: what is the relationship between food and health?
They're basically two sides of the same coin. Food is the literal building block of your health. What you put in your body determines everything from how much energy you have and how clearly you can think to how well your immune system fights off a cold. When the balance is right, food is medicine. When it's not, it's where most of our health struggles start.
All right, Maya. My next question is: how do foods gain cultural significance?
It's usually a mix of necessity and storytelling. A food becomes significant when it's tied to a specific event, a shared struggle, or a deep tradition. For example, a dish might start as something made from the few ingredients available during a famine, but over time it becomes a symbol of resilience and strength for that entire culture.
All right, Maya. My next question is: why do comfort foods make people feel emotionally safe?
It's a direct line to our happiest memories. Usually, comfort foods are things we ate when we were kids or during times when we felt most cared for. So, when we taste those flavors again, our brain releases dopamine and reminds us of that feeling of being safe and loved, even if we're just having a snack on a Tuesday.
All right, Maya. My next question is: how has technology changed food production?
It's basically scaled everything up. We've gone from hand planting seeds to using drones and GPS to manage entire fields. We have vertical farming and lab grown meats now, which means we can produce more food in less space and with fewer resources. It's made food way more available, but it's also moved us further away from the actual soil.
All right, Maya. Thank you. My next
Right.
question is: what role does food play in storytelling and literature?
It's the ultimate way to ground a story in reality. Writers use food to show a character's background, their social status, or even their emotional state without having to say it out loud. A shared meal in a book can signal a truce, a blossoming romance, or a hidden tension. It's a shorthand for how characters actually feel about each other.
All right, Maya. Thank you. My next question is: why do people enjoy trying foreign cuisines?
It's a way of traveling without ever leaving your chair. It's that curiosity about how other people live and what they value. Trying a new flavor is like getting a tiny glimpse into another culture's history and soul. And it's usually a lot more exciting than sticking to the same three meals every week.
All right, Maya. Thank you. My next question is: how does food connect generations?
Through the recipes that act as a living history. When a grandparent teaches a grandchild how to make a specific dish, they're not just sharing a recipe, they're passing down a story, a set of values, and a piece of their identity. It's a way of keeping ancestors present in the room, making the past feel tangible and tasty.
All right, Maya. Thank you. My next question is: what are the most influential cuisines in the world?
And that's a huge leap from food. Are you talking about the big philosophical questions or something more specific?
Yeah, Maya.
If we're going big, we're talking about the things that keep people up at night, like who am I, or is there a purpose to all this? Those are the ones that actually shift how people live their lives. What's one that's been on your mind?
All right, Maya. My next question is: how has food shaped trade and exploration?
Hmm. It basically drew the maps of the modern world. People were so driven by the desire for things like cinnamon, cloves, and black pepper that they risked everything to find new routes to Asia. That whole era of exploration wasn't just about curiosity, it was a high stakes treasure hunt for flavor. It turned small ports into global hubs and fundamentally linked different continents for the first time.
All right, Maya. Thank you. My next question is: why are certain dishes considered national symbols?
It's usually because those dishes embody a country's story on a plate. They often use ingredients that are native to the land and represent the struggle, triumph, or daily life of the people. When a dish becomes a national symbol, it's essentially the country's way of saying, this is who we are and where we come from.
All right, Maya. Thank you. My next question is, how does food influence tourism?
It's a massive draw. People travel thousands of miles just for a specific taste or to experience an authentic food market. Culinary tourism is a huge industry because food is the fastest way to truly feel the pulse of a new place and connect with the locals.
All right, Maya. Thank you. My next question is, what role does food play in movies and television?
It's often the secret storyteller. Directors use food to build a world or establish a mood without saying a word. A lavish feast can signal wealth and power, while a simple shared meal can show intimacy or tension. Sometimes it's even a plot point, like when a specific dish becomes a symbol of home or a longing for the past.
All right, Maya. Thank you. My next question is, how do restaurants shape modern food culture?
They're basically the testing grounds for new trends. They take traditional flavors and remix them, making a dish that used to be a niche local specialty, something that everyone wants to try. Plus, they're where we go to perform the experience of eating, turning a meal into a social event rather than just a necessity.
All right, Maya. Thank you. My next question is, why is homemade food often emotionally meaningful?
Because it tastes like care. It's not just about the ingredients, but the time and effort someone put into making it specifically for you. It's a way of communicating love and safety without having to say a word.
All right, Maya. Thank you. My next question is, how do social media platforms influence food trends?
They've turned eating into a visual sport. Now it's not just about how something tastes, but how it looks on a screen. A single viral video can make an obscure ingredient or a weird food combination trend globally overnight, completely changing what people order at restaurants just so they can post a photo of it.
All right, Maya. Thank you. My next question is, what are the psychological effects of food? Hey, Maya.
It's a deep rabbit hole. Food affects everything from your mood and stress levels to how you focus. When you're hungry, you get hangry because your blood glucose drops. And when you eat something you love, your brain floods with dopamine. It's basically a chemical dialogue between your gut and your brain.
All right, Maya. My next question is, how does food affect mood and energy?
It's all about the chemistry. Certain foods give you a quick spike of energy that leaves you crashing later, like sugary snacks. Others, like complex carbs and proteins, provide a slow, steady burn that keeps the brain sharp and your mood stable. Basically, your food is the fuel for your emotions.
All right, Maya. My next question is, why is food photography so popular online?
Because we eat with our eyes first. It's that instant hit of dopamine when we see something delicious. Plus, it's a way of showing off our tastes or our experiences, turning a simple meal into a piece of content that other people can crave through a screen.
All right, Maya. Thank you. My next question is, how do chefs become cultural influencers?
They basically act as translators. They take the traditions of a specific culture and present them in a way that the rest of the world can understand and appreciate. By doing that, they don't just sell food, they shift how we perceive entire countries and people.
All right, Maya. Thank you. My next question is, what role does food play in hospitality?
It's the universal language of welcome. Offering food is the most basic way to say, you're safe here and you're valued. It transforms a stranger into a guest by meeting their most fundamental need, which is why almost every culture has a tradition of offering a drink or a snack the moment someone walks through the door.
All right, Maya. Thank you. My next question is, how have fast foods changed lifestyles worldwide?
They've prioritized speed over everything else. It's shifted our relationship with food from a slow social experience to something we do while multitasking or on the go. While it's made eating convenient, it's also contributed to a global rise in health issues and a disconnect from where our food actually comes from.
All right, Maya, thank you. My next question is why are traditional recipes preserved over generations?
Because they're like edible time capsules. They're not just about the taste, but a way of preserving a family's history and identity. When a recipe is passed down, it's a way of saying, this is who we are, and keeping the memory of the people who made it alive.
All right, Maya, thank you. My next question is how does food inspire art and creativity?
It's a sensory gold mine. Food is naturally visual, tactile, and fragrant, which makes it an easy muse. From the hyper realistic still life paintings of the Dutch masters to the way chefs plate a dish like it's a canvas, food lets artists play with color, texture, and emotion. It's basically a way to explore the human experience through the most visceral sense we have.
All right, Maya, thank you. My next question is how does food inspire art and creativity?
You actually just asked me that.
All
I'm
right.
still
My
standing
bye.
by for
So,
bye. Take it easy.
my next question is what are the most famous foods associated with different countries?
It's a huge list, but you've got the heavy hitters like sushi for Japan, pasta and pizza for Italy, tacos for Mexico, and croissants for France. Then you have things like dim sum for China or poutine for Canada. Each one is basically a culinary ambassador for its country.
All right, Maya, thank you. My next question is why is food often linked to memories?
Let's taste and smell are processed in the same part of the brain as emotion and memory. That's why a certain dish can act like a time machine, instantly bringing back a feeling or a person from years ago.
All right, Maya, thank you. My next question is how do communities bond through food?
It's the ultimate common ground. It's a shared experience that transcends language or background, whether it's a neighborhood potluck, a street food market, or a massive holiday feast. The act of eating together forces us to slow down and actually connect. It turns a group of individuals into a community because you're all nourishing yourselves from the same source.
All right, Maya, my next question is how do communities bond through food?
Wait, you just asked me
All
that.
right, all right. Again, my
I'm thinking we're
bad.
no worries at all.
All
I'm
right.
still here whenever you've got the next
My
one.
next question is
Standing by.
what role does food play during crisis and wars?
It becomes a tool for both survival and power. In times of war, food is often used as a weapon. Think of sieges or blockades designed to starve people into submission. But on the flip side, it's also where the most profound human kindness shows up. Sharing a meager ration with a stranger, or creating a communal kitchen in a disaster zone becomes an act of resistance and a way to maintain dignity when everything else is falling apart.
All right, ma'am. My next question is how has food marketing influenced consumer choices?
Created a psychological shortcut. Marketing doesn't just sell the food, it sells a feeling or a lifestyle. By using specific colors, lighting, and carefully crafted narratives, they make us associate a brand with things like happiness, luxury, or health. Even if the actual ingredients don't match the image, it's turned eating into a choice based on branding rather than just hunger or nutrition.
All right, Maya. Thank you. My next question is why do some foods become luxury items?
It's usually a mix of scarcity and prestige. Some things like saffron or truffles are luxury items because they're incredibly hard to harvest or only grow in very specific conditions. But once they become symbols of status, the price stays high because people are paying for the exclusivity as much as the taste.
All right, Maya, thank you. My next question is, how does food represent social class and status?
It's always been a visible marker of where you stand in society. Historically, the most expensive ingredients, like refined sugar or rare spices, were reserved for the elite to signal their wealth. Even today, it's often less about the food itself and more about the experience, like the difference between a quick meal and a multi course tasting menu at a Michelin star restaurant. It's a way of performing status through what's on your plate.
All right, Maya, thank you for giving me this information in detail. Bye bye. Take care. See you soon.
You're very welcome. It was a blast diving into the world of food with you. Bye for now. Take care.
So, viewers, this was my AI session with Maya. I hope you like it. We will meet again in the next video. Until then, Allah Hafiz, Pakistan Zindabad.